Hello, stamping friends. Guess what I did over the weekend? I had seen something, I don't know, on Pinterest or YouTube or whatever about baby oil and Stampin' Up! Reinkers. Well, when I went back to find it, I couldn't find it. So I just started playing and I want to share with you what I did. So this card turned out gorgeous, and because it matched my nails, I was inspired to add the silver glimmer paper and some rhinestones. And don't you think it matches well? All right, let me show you what I played with. First of all, baby oil. Couldn't find a smaller bottle, but I don't think you need this much because a little bit goes a long way. And some reinkers. So the card that I just showed you was just using Bermuda Bay. But then this morning I was like, oh, what would happen if I added a second color? Now, you know what happens when you mix yellow and blue, right? Gonna get green. So let me just show you some of the samples. First of all, I did the two colors and I did pretty good about keeping them separated, but still ended up with more green than the blue. As I show you how I did this, you're gonna notice that I'm gonna tell you to dab and not rub because then you'll get these streak marks. I don't think I really like those, so just wanted to point that out. This was when I mixed the yellow and the blue together in the process, I really got green. So, didn't want that either. And then this one was a little bit better. And then this one, I did another trick. So let me show you. All right, so first of all, Stampin' Up! Has two different styles of Whisper White paper. And first I used just the Whisper White. It's pretty lightweight. And my cardstock was really thin. I mean, the oil just really soaked into it. So I opted to go over to the heavy duty Whisper White cardstock that is brand new in the catalog. Excuse me. So that's what I'm going to use for the demos. You're going to need a silicone mat. This is the silicone craft mat from Stampin' Up!, which I use usually for adhesive, but I figured out that the reinker and the oil didn't stain it. So, and it's very easy to clean up. And then you're going to need some reinkers. You might want to just start with one, like we're going to do on the video first. And I did use some Stampin' Up! Sponges to help me with the last part that I showed you. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just put a little bit of oil on my mat. And I'm going to zoom way in so you can see the magic start happening. There we go. All right. So then I took the reinker and I put several big drops. I don't know, what is that, 8 or 10? You can, if you do less drops, you'll get less color, obviously. And then I just had a stick. You could use a popsicle stick or something that you don't care is going to get stained because, see, it gets stained. And so then if you try to mix the reinker and the oil, it's like oil and water. It doesn't want to mix. So you can see the little bubbles separating, okay? Now, I'm going to just show you how it looks if you have about this much, all right? Oh yeah, you're going to need paper towels and tissues at hand too. Okay, so then I'm just going to lay this in the oil, and you can see it oozing up over the side because I kind of squished it. Ooh. So then on my white spots, I just took it and just dabbed to fill in the rest of the paper like this. And I will show you this one compared to my original card. I did a lot more ink the first time than I'm showing you now, but I wanted you to see the marble effect that the oil does. See how cool it is? And I even tried to take my stick and see if I could do anything else to it. Not so much, because what I figured out is that the oil is sitting on top, but the ink has already colored the cardstock. Okay, so don't think you can kind of play with the design and all that. It is what it is. So let me grab my paper towels. And let me just show you. I take the piece and I just sandwich it between two paper towels and I just dab. I just blot it. I'm blotting up that oil. If you rub, you're going to get that smeared look that I told you about on one of the sample cards. So then this just cleans up very easily, like that. Okay, see, I got all the color off. And then, let's see, let's check this out. So I want to show you the back side. I hope you can see how wet and oily it is because that baby oil really soaks through the paper. Now it's still pretty wet, so now I'm going to just really dab hard to try to get that excess oil off the top. Oh, and guess what? Your craft room will smell like a newborn baby because you have baby oil in there. So that's kind of a bonus. All right, so it's still a little bit wet, but I want to share with you about how long does it take to dry. So as I was preparing, getting my supplies ready for the video, this was the first one. Let's see, which one was the first one? Yeah, this was the first one I did. And you can see that it's still a little bit wet, but as I started doing it, they're drying. So you can just tell, you want to make sure that they're good and dry. Like this is really oily and wet because it was one of the last ones I did. You want to make sure it's good and dry before you do anything else to it. Now, I was concerned that if I ran it through an embossing folder, that it would stain my folder. It didn't, because like I mentioned, the ink is on the cardstock. So I don't know if you can see this, but I ran it through the Boho Chic folder. Hope you can see it on the video. I'll post some pictures with the video so that you can see it really well. So I just think it was really fun and cool. So let me just show you one more way to do it. And I'm going to actually make 2 puddles. 1, 2. Oh, and I hope they don't run together. My baby oil kind of comes out fast, but I would say you wouldn't need any bigger than maybe a 1/4 size. So what I want to play with is, and I have a feeling they're going to run together, of course, because I'm doing a video. I'm going to put yellow in one, and I'm actually using Daffodil Delight and Bermuda Bay. Now what I noticed is that my Daffodil Delight kind of got a little brown on me, so I'm assuming it's because of the oil. And the Bermuda Bay is a little bit on the darker side. So, so let's see how this works. All right. So I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit. And I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm just going to take my sponge and just dabbing it in there. See, it's kind of brownish color. It really does change the color of the Daffodil Delight. So if that bothers you, just realize, okay? Now, when you do this way, when you do it this way, your cardstock isn't going to get as wet, okay? Because you're not like dipping it into the baby oil. But it just gives you another, this is probably a little bit more controlled way of doing it. So it just gives you another look if you wanted 2 colors. I don't know, I just think it's a fun background, and hopefully I'll figure out where I was inspired from, but if not, I hope this inspires you. So, thanks for watching, and you are just so kind.